Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. How are you guys today? It's a bright sunny day here in Tulsa. A little chilly. Let me give you guys time to get signed on here. We can get going. Hi, Aunt Emily. Happy Mother's Day. Or Larry. I don't know who is there actually. Since you're combined, I have a little guess, but hi, Joanna. I saw your little face float up. Happy Mother's Day to you. How are you guys today? I just posted a link to the Facebook page with a playlist for today, an acoustic playlist if you would like. Good morning, Brad. Hi, Jen. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Brad, tell Jackster we said Happy Mother's Day. All right, I'm letting people get signed on. I'll talk to you a little bit about how today's going to go. So earlier in the week, we had the flower full moon. And so I'm going to do moon salutes today, which we have done before. When I remember, I try to sprinkle them in on full moon weeks. So I remembered this week, and we will practice some moon salutes. They're not hard, so don't panic. It's still gentle, and we will be standing most of the class. So if you like that centering part of the beginning of class on the floor, go ahead and have a seat and do your centering work on the floor while I wait and greet for a couple more minutes. So we will start the class standing, but in this initial time while I wait for people, if you would like to have that moment seated, go ahead and take a seat. Good morning, Dad. So we'll give people just a few more minutes. I'm sure there are Mother's Day activities going on, and hopefully breakfast in bed or coffee from a friend, things like that. You guys deserve to be celebrated. There's my mom. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Reed's going to stand the whole time. All right. So I was saying just a minute ago, we're starting the practice standing. So if you prefer to do your centering work seated, you can have a seat now. Some people just prefer that crisscross pose. It's kind of a traditional meditation pose to start with. So that's up to you. This is where you get to customize your practice. So yeah, decide if you want to have a seat or join me standing. Let me check on one thing. One student that was asking, I want to make sure she gets on here. And then we'll get going. Okay. Hi, Sally. All right. So the reason that we're going to stand today is that it's a full moon week, and we will do a moon salute today. So we've done these before. I don't do them very often, maybe once a month if I remember. But it's a standing flow. It's a little bit different than a sun salute. And I like it because you'll notice that we kind of circle, just like the moon has a cycle. We'll make shapes that mimic the shapes of the moon, which is really fun, but we'll also kind of cycle around your mat and we'll end up facing all different directions. So if you end up turned away from me, don't worry about it. I've been practicing my cueing, so you should be able to follow along without having to see me. But if you need to, just bring the screen around or flip yourself around. Flip yourself around so that you can see me if you get confused. I'm laughing because Brad says that we're standing up so Walter doesn't step on him, which is I definitely consider that. So Brad practices yoga in a horse pasture on his farm. Anyway, we'll go through our opening meditation and centering, and then I'll give you a moment to stand up if you're starting on the floor. So wherever you are, close your eyes. Start to notice your breath, notice your body, and see how it feels today. Is it tired? Is it tight? Are you feeling energized in the brisk air? A little cold front all over the country. And as you scan your body, you can go kind of muscle to muscle or joint to joint. Notice places that feel tight or that you feel yourself kind of bunching up, and see if you can exhale and just let all of that go. Start to deepen your breath, filling up a little bit more with each inhale and slowing down the exhales. We'll take a few more rounds of deep breath like this. Trying to fill up, really feel your whole upper body move with that as it fills up with that air. Your chest rises, your ribs expand out in all directions. Last full big breath in and out. Now we'll start to add on a little bit of movement with our arms to match the breath. But I also want you to take this time to set someone that you'd like to dedicate your practice to today. It could be to your mother, since it's Mother's Day. Kind of think of them as we continue to move. It could be yourself as a mother. Kind of take a moment to appreciate and really reflect on your role as a mother, or it could be your children or a friend. Anybody that you want to just kind of think of and carry with you in your practice today. I know it's maybe a tough day for some, especially with all the distancing and such, so just hold someone close to you while we move today. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up overhead. And big exhale, you can sigh out of the mouth as you bring your hands back down to you. We'll do this 2 more times. Big inhale, reach up. And exhale, let it go. Last time, big inhale, reach. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. So now, if you chose to be seated, let's stand up. Everyone will stand at the top of their mat, and I'm going to move around and alternate between facing you and facing my top of the mat so that you can get 2 views for this. So let's come up. Everyone come to the top of your space if you're not there already. Ready to start our moon salutes? Okay, so take a deep breath in, reach the arms up overhead, interlace your fingertips together at the top. As you exhale, bend over to the right side, send your hips to the left. Here's our Crescent Moon. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale to the left, send your hips over to the right. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, take a tiny back bend. Lift your chest up high as you reach behind you. Don't push too far. And exhale, come down. So if I'm at the top of the mat, I'm going to step backwards with my left foot to open up to the left side of the mat. So you're facing the long side of your mat, the left side of your space. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Really energize through the fingertips. This is called five-pointed star. Turn your toes out just a little bit. Big deep breath in, reach up, exhale, pull the elbows down as you sink into a squat. This is called Goddess Pose. It's good for the moms today. Inhale, press yourself up. We're gonna do this 2 more times. Exhale, sink down. How low you go is up to you and what you wanna feel in your hips. Inhale, reach up, last time. Exhale, come down. Might hear some cracks. And inhale, press up. Exhale, your hands to your hips. Listen carefully. So take the left toes and rotate them to face completely to the back of the mat. So your left toes are pointing all the way to the left. Turn the right foot so it's parallel to the short side of your mat. Your feet are kind of in a T shape if they were closer together. Bring your hands to your hips. Slide your hips back to the right as you reach your left hand down your left leg. This is called triangle pose. The right arm can reach up or it can rest on your hip. That feels better to your shoulder. Think about rotating the left hip underneath the right. So we're trying to open up through the hips and through the chest. Couple of deep breaths here. It's okay to press into your left hand for some support for your spine. You can even bring it up if it feels too intense to reach for your shin. Both knees are relatively straight but not locked out. 2 more deep breaths. On your next inhale, lift your chest back up through center. Now we're going to take the right foot and turn the right toes to face the same way as the left. So now both feet are facing the back of the mat. We've made kind of a half cycle through here. The balance is off. Bring your hands to your hips, take a deep breath in, stand up tall, and on your exhale, we're gonna fold forward. Hinge at the hips, really press them backwards as you fold down over the left leg. So left foot's in front, both knees are still relatively straight, and so is your chest. So stay lifted here, press your hands into your left thigh for support, and take a couple deep breaths. Try to press evenly to both feet. Sometimes with our weight coming forward, we lean more into the left foot, but make sure you're pressing into that back foot as well. One more deep breath here. Now listen to your body, but if you'd like, and it feels okay, you can start to slide the hands down the left leg and bring your torso with it. So you're folding down more to the floor and kind of intensifying that stretch up the left leg. If that doesn't feel good to your back, press yourself back up and let your hands rest on your leg. Just a few deep breaths here. All right. Pay attention to your right foot. We're going to step it back just a little bit further and then bring your hands to the inside of the left. So now we're in more of a low lunge stretch here. You can come down to your knee if that feels better to you, a little bit less intense. Otherwise, press into both hands, press into that left foot, and think about letting your hips sink down to the ground. Nice big hip stretch here. And now we'll bring the right knee down in the back. If you've got a blanket or pillow to put underneath it, you may. Walk your hands back towards your body to come to this kneeling position. Then we'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend over to the right. Very carefully. This is a challenging balance pose. And inhale, come back through center. Exhale, bend to the left. And inhale, come back through center. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Tuck the toes in the back so the right knee comes up. And now we're going to walk our hands, turning on your feet so that you're facing towards the original side that we were facing. So we're reversing that cycle. I want us to stay here in kind of a half lunge to the left. So you'll adjust once you get back to center. Step your feet closer together if you need. Stand up a little bit if you need to lean into the left leg. Or, and this will just depend on your knees, if it feels good to you, you can come all the way down to the ground this way. Please do not hurt your knees if this doesn't feel good. Just raise your hips up and don't sink so low. But if this is accessible to you, it feels really nice. Couple of deep breaths. Last one here. Then we'll inhale, press into your hands to help lift your feet back up through center. Keep your feet spread wide as you let your torso just fold down between the two legs. You can rock your hips side to side. Wide-legged forward fold here. Bring your hands up to your hips and on an inhale, lift through the chest. We're going to press off the left foot to turn back around to the front of the mat. So you should be back to the top space. If you're facing the back of your mat, that's okay. Let's just everyone come back to the original top of your mat. You there? Okay, I'm gonna face you again. You guys stay put. Big inhale in, reach up. Interlace the fingertips. Exhale, bend to the right. Shift your hips to the left. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, bend to the left. Shift your hips to the right. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, tiny back bend. Think about lifting your chest up to make this back bend happen. And that keeps some of the pressure out of your low back. And inhale, come back forward. This time, from the top of your mat, we're going to step back with the right foot, facing the back of your mat now, facing the right side. Turn your toes out. We've got 5 pointed stars, so reach the hands up overhead. Big deep breath in, and on your exhale, we sink back down. And inhale to press back up. We're going to do the exact same flow, just with the right foot in front this time. So notice here, in your squats and your stars, if your hips feel any different. So my left hip feels a lot more open and stretched than my right, because we haven't done the right side. Last time, exhale, sink down into your goddess. Think of your mama. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your hips. So I'm going to turn this way so you can see me from this side. The right toes will turn to face the short part of the mat. The left foot will be parallel to the short part of the mat. Hands come to your hips. We've got triangle pose first. So things to think about here. Shift your left hip back. You're just sliding it back, which causes the right side to tip down a little bit lower than the left. So hands are not even anymore. Then take the right hand and slide it down the leg. Left hand stays on your hip or can reach up. Couple of deep breaths here. Triangle pose. This is a tricky one, but it's great for the hips. Again, if you're feeling any kind of pain or compression in your low back, just lift your chest up a little bit so that you're not reaching down quite so far. Hand can rest on your thigh. Still feeling a lot in the hips. On your next inhale, come on up out of that stretch. We'll take the left foot and rotate the left toes to face the same way as the right. They're both facing the short end of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips again. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, fold forward over the right leg. Ooh. Big stretch there. Hands can rest on your thigh or reach further for the ground. It's just going to depend on your flexibility. Think about pressing evenly into both feet, not just letting the weight come into the front foot. And stay with your breaths. Chest is lifted to start, but as you ease into this stretch, if you'd like to let the chest kind of fall down towards the knees, you can reach your hands to the floor. Just pay close attention to your back and too much rounding. One more deep breath here. Then we'll bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Lengthen your stance a little bit by either stepping the left foot back or the right foot forward so we can come down into this lunge here. Knee can be up or down in the back, whatever's most comfortable to you. Turn this way. I'm here like this. Hello, everyone. Bring the left knee down in the back. Walk your hands back and up. So we're in a kneeling stance here. We've got those crescent moons again. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingertips. Exhale, bend to the right side. Hold your balance carefully. Nice hip and side body stretch. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, bend to the left. Easy. Inhale, come through center, and exhale your hands back down to the ground. From here, take the left toes, tuck them so the left knee comes up. And we're going to walk the hands around to the left side. So you'll come back to facing the side of the mat. We're in our wide-legged stance here. And then we're going to sink back into the right knee. Right leg. So if you're able to, come all the way down. If that is too much for your knee or any other body part, come up into that star stance again and then just sink a little bit over to the right. All right? This is where the yoga practice really deals with the ego, which can act in two ways. The ego can hold you back by telling you that you're not good enough to try that, or it can make you try to keep up with things that you shouldn't be. So take a moment to check in with your inner ego and see if it's telling you to do something that your body says that you shouldn't. So if this is uncomfortable or painful, then just come up a little bit. There's no right way really to do these poses except to honor what your body is able to do each time. And every time you come to the mat will be different. So this may hurt today, but next week it might feel great. So honor each time that you're on your mat for what it is. One more deep breath here. On your next inhale, walk your hands back towards the center as you lift your hips up. We're in that wide-legged forward fold. Shake your hips side to side a few times. And then we'll come up, walk your hands up your legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink back down into your goddess pose, but bring your hands to the insides of your knees. So we're squatting through this. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, drop your right shoulder down and look to the left. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, drop the left shoulder down, look to the right. Inhale, come through center. Press your knees straight. We'll step the left foot forward to meet the right. Should be back to the top of your mat. And I'll turn to face you. All right, so that was a moon salute. You can go around in that cycle as many times as you like. We're gonna go once today so that we can move on to some balance practice. So we'll do tree today. It's a favorite. Take your left foot and really ground it into the mat, but make sure that your toes are able to wiggle a little bit so you're not gripping with your toes. Bring the right knee up in front of you. And when you feel steady here, we'll open it to the back side. Try to keep your hips facing forward, so don't rotate your hips with the knee. The knee opens, you get a great stretch in the inner thigh, and then bring the right foot to the left leg, either on the calf or the ankle or the thigh, but never directly on the knee. Press the right foot into the left leg, and then also press into your left foot to help you stand tall. We don't want to kind of collapse onto the left leg, so press firmly into the foot, stand up tall. And then your hands can grow up into branches if you'd like. Take a couple deep breaths. If it's not hard enough, close one eye at a time. If that's not hard enough, close both. Hold here a few more deep breaths. If you're falling around today, just imagine that it's a windy day. You can come back into the pose and restart it at any time. One more deep breath. And then we'll exhale, bring your hands to your heart and your foot to the ground. Shake your knees out. Ground through the right foot this time. Wiggle the right toes so you're not gripping too much. And inhale the left knee up in front of you. Open the left knee to the back and bring the left foot into the right leg. Same ideas here, not right on the knee joint. And press firmly into the right foot to help you stand tall and not collapse onto the hip. It's windier for me on this side. Couple deep breaths here. You can grow your arms up into branches if you'd like. Guys, my theory's holding strong. Dominant leg for me is harder to balance on than the non-dominant. Couple deep breaths. Try the eyes closed or the arms moving. One more deep breath. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart and your feet to the floor. Shake the knees out. Very good. that will be it for our balance pose today. Now we'll make our way back down to the ground, but let's get there through a little mini sun salutation. So starting at the top of your mat, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, slow dive forward. Send your hips back as you hinge at the hips. Let your torso slowly drop. Hands come to the floor or your shins. Press firmly into your feet. Lift the hips. Let your head be heavy and tuck your chin to your chest. You can sway side to side a little bit. Alternate bending one knee and then the other. Just play around in this forward fold. Come back through center. Inhale to halfway lift. So hands can come to your shins for this, but you're just lifting your chest enough that your back comes about flat. Gaze is just ahead of your toes, a couple feet. So you're looking straight down. On your next exhale, fold back down. So that half lift is a great posture exercise to work the little muscles of your back. Bend your knees as much as you need. Step one foot back and then the other. We're in a plank here. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, press up and back to your downward facing dog. We won't be here too long. Just enjoy the stretch. Focus on reaching your heels down to the mat. Maybe alternate bending the knees again. Inhale, slide back forward to your plank. And exhale, press to downward facing dog. We're just going to do this slide one more time. Inhale, slide forward to plank. And exhale, press back to downward facing dog. This time, inhale, come down to your knees, and we're in a tabletop position. Take a deep breath in, drop your belly down like cow pose, and a big breath out, tuck your back up like cat pose. One more time, inhale through cow, and exhale through cat. Inhale to a flat back and walk your hands back towards your legs. So you're just sitting here on your hips on your heels. Just sit in this pose for a minute. This can be pretty intense. Again, if your knees are bothering you, just come up a little bit. Won't be here much longer. One more breath. Very good. Then we'll just shift over to either side. And we'll roll back to our backs. Grab behind the thighs to slowly roll yourself back. Once we're here, we're actually going to roll onto the left side. So drop your knees over to the left. Roll onto the left shoulder and the left hip. The arms will extend straight out from your chest. Right arm will be stacked on top of the left. And you've got a 90-degree angle with your torso and your legs, your upper legs at the hip, and then a 90-degree angle of the upper and the lower leg at the knee. This is called the open book stretch. It's so wonderful. Wanted to share it with you guys today. So on your inhale, the right arm is going to reach up, opening like a book. See if you can get your shoulder blade to touch the floor. It's okay if you can't. And then exhale, close the book back up. So we'll do this a few times, moving with your breath. Inhale, take the right arm up and over. Let your eyes follow your right hand. Opening just as wide as you can. And exhale, close it up. If this is uncomfortable for your shoulder, bend at the elbow and open up with a shorter lever here. So if you have a 90-degree bend in your elbow, there's a lot less kind of hanging pressure on the shoulder joint because your arm is shorter and closer to your body. So we always want to pay attention, see what our body's saying to us. Keep moving with the breath. 2 more times, inhaling to open, nice big chest opening stretch, and exhale to close. 1 more time, open and closed. This time on your inhale, open up and stay there. So we'll inhale, open, 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 and stay here, trying to get both shoulder blades back on the floor. Couple of deep breaths. Come back to that person that you're sharing your practice with. Bring them right alongside you here. One last deep breath. Then on your next inhale, we'll bring the feet back through the middle of the mat, rotating the knees up to the sky. So you're rolling back flat onto your back now. Reset your hips in the center by pressing into your feet. So scoot back to set yourself up on the center of your mat. And now we're just going to drop the knees over to the right side so that we can switch and even out both sides. So bring the left arm on top of the right. Same exact pose, we're just rolling over to the other side. So I'm going to twist to face this way so that I'm still facing you. But same movement here. So on your inhale, this time your left arm will open up. Make sure your eyes follow your arm and reach it back behind you. And then exhale to close it up. Couple more times. Inhale to open. And slowly exhale to close. And remember, shorten your arm if you need to. Bend at the elbow and open it up just a little bit shorter. It's okay if you don't touch the ground. We're focusing on a chest opening here, so as long as that left shoulder is moving, open and closed, the purpose of the stretch is being met. 2 more times. Inhale. This will be the last exhale to close. This time we'll inhale and hold it open. So once you get as far as you're able to on the opening, rest here. Trying to ease the left shoulder towards the ground. Couple of deep breaths. On your next inhale, we'll roll the feet flat through the center of the mat as the knees come up. Press your feet into the ground as you slide your hips back through the center. And we'll bring the knees into the chest for a gentle hug. You can rock side to side. This next series will be our last little deep stretch series. So start to wind down in your mind and your breath if you're able to. Bring your attention and awareness back to this current moment and the person that you dedicated this practice to. So let's bring the left foot down to the mat, knee is still up, and take the right foot up to the sky. You can grab behind the right thigh, for some support with your hands. And then let's point the toes up to the sky and then the heel. So we're alternating pointing and flexing the right foot. Feeling the different sensations in the calf and the front of the shin as we do this. Point and flex. Next, we'll bring the right ankle down across the left knee. Take the right hand and gently press the right knee away from you. This may not feel like very much, but pay attention to the right hip inside here. Do you feel like you're making space there? Do you feel like you are getting a good stretch? But just gently let the right hand push that knee away from you. Couple of deep breaths. And we'll inhale to bring the left foot up off of the ground. Grab behind the left leg for some support. Make sure that your head is able to stay on the ground. So if you're having to come up like this to hold it, then I want your left foot to come back down to the ground with your head. If you're able to and keep your head on the ground, grab behind the left leg. As you inhale, feel your breath help expand into places of tightness and tenderness. And as you exhale, feel yourself letting go of some of that resistance. One more big deep breath in. And exhale, breathe it out. Let's bring the left foot back down to the mat. Uncross the right ankle and take the knees side to side. So we will match that stretch on the other side. Bring the right foot to the mat. Take the left knee up to the, or left foot up to the sky. Grab behind the left thigh and we'll point and flex the left foot. So really energize through the heel, energize through the toes, back and forth. Point and flex. Next, we'll bring the left ankle down across the right knee. Take your left hand and gently press the left knee away from you, noticing what you feel in the left hip. On your next inhale, let's bring the right foot up off of the ground, grabbing behind the right leg for some support, and take a couple deep breaths into the left hip. This will be our final stretch. So start to cue your body into a relaxation state. And when you're ready, you can bring the right foot back down to the mat, uncross the left, take the knees side to side, and walk your feet out to a flat corpse pose. Hands can be by your side. If you prefer a different setup for your final resting pose, please take it. You can sit back up and crisscross. Lots of ways to take your final resting pose, but the whole idea is that if you could be 10% more comfortable, you should do what you can to get that way. If you need to have a blanket wrapped around you, bring a blanket over. If you want to have a pillow underneath your head, grab a pillow. We're wanting to be as comfortable and relaxed as possible. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Filling up with good and exhaling any kind of stress or tension from your body and your mind. We'll start our meditation with some gratitude today, as always. So think of 2 to 3 things, maybe specifically about your mom or whoever you were thinking of during your practice. 2 to 3 things specifically about that person that you are grateful for in your life, their influence, their support, their unconditional love, their sacrifices. Think of 2 to 3 things. We'll move on to the love lift. Let's again continue to focus on the person that you brought alongside of you in your practice today. And you can picture present day, someplace happy that you wish you could be with them right now. Or maybe you want to go back to a pleasant memory of the past and be in that moment with them there. Wherever you are, picture lots of warm sunshine, happy feelings, and a sensation of being lifted up, both of you, with love and happiness. In the third part, we'll move on to focusing on you. Take this moment to kind of dig deep and see what you need from yourself, what you need to vocalize to others that you need today. It could be as simple as asking for help. Simple and difficult. It's not always easy to ask for help, but really try to listen and see if you can identify one thing that would help you this week. And then we'll end class with as much time as you need here on your mat in the quiet stillness. Use this time to see what kind of becomes clear in your mind as all of those other thoughts take a seat. You may find some answers to previous things that you said you need in class. The answers become clear in the quiet calm. And I want to wish a very happy Mother's Day to my mom and to all of my family and friends who are moms, my members. It's so inspiring to watch you guys step into those roles, and I'm happy to be by your side. So have a great Mother's Day. You deserve to be celebrated.